Shalom. I want to give all honor and praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua by Shir Kakudash. Double honors to the elder apostle, great minister, and top of the streets of sincerity. Salutations to the hopeful and the spirit of the forecast and the third. This is going to be another day to bread of Matthew 13, verses 1 through 58. We're going to start off at Yahushua teaches in parables, which is dark sayings, or sayings that can be easily understood. Matthew 13:1 reached the same day when Yahushua out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat. The whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. And some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no depthness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. But other fell into good ground, brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, and some 30-fold. Who hath the ear? Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. All right, and that represents the sower. The sower represent, the person who's teaching, right? Because it's about to explain some message that he hears. And his disciple came and said unto him, What why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever has, to him shall be given, and he shall have no more abundance. But whosoever has not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see and see not, and hear they hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which says, By hearing ye should hear, and should not understand, and seeing ye should see, and should not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets are and righteous men have the desire to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. Okay. That's the explanation of that sower seed parable. Okay. Because the good ground represent, you know, the truth. Okay. And being nourished up in the truth. So those spirits was able to be nourished up to the truth. Okay. Because their eyes were opening. Okay. They were able to receive the truth. All right. But those that weren't able to receive the truth, right, they fell upon what? Thorns. Okay. Stones. All right. And got devoured, got judged, got destroyed. The sword is like Matthew 13:8. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sword. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which receives seed by the wayside. Okay. But he that receives the seed into a certain place, the same is he that hears the word and none with joy receives it. Yet he has he not root in himself, but endures for a while. For when tribulation or persecutions arise because of the word, by and by he is offended. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that hears the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becomes unfruitful. But he that receives seed in good ground is he that hears the word and understand it, which is also bears fruit and brings forth some in hundredfold, some 60, some 30, as I was saying. Okay. So the word, okay, which is what the sower is basically our apostle on down. They're teaching this word is like a seed that goes into, like a seed they plant into the spirits of the, which is heart represents the spirit of the people. Okay. All right. And you have some people that can receive this truth. Okay. Understand the truth. Okay. And repent and do the will of the Lord and bring forth fruit. But you also have those that can't receive this truth. Like they can't. Well, I'm not going to say can't. They can't receive the truth. Okay, but the riches of this world, the cares of this world, right? Choke them. Okay, to not being able to fully come in the truth, right? And you also have those that can receive the truth, but the devil, the spiritual demon Satan, right, comes in and plant something in their spirit, okay, plant wicked thoughts in their spirit where it takes them out of the truth, right? It could be because of because the truth hurts, okay. So it could just be like a law, okay. People, you can't eat pork, okay, etc. Okay. Whatever reason these people, because we all have desires in this flesh, and when you come to the truth, you have to learn to subdue the flesh. All right, and many people can't subdue the flesh. Okay, but Satan they're easily, they can easily be overcome by Satan. Tares among wheat, Matthew 13:24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while man slept, his enemy come and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, Didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then has it tares? He said unto them, enemy has done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let's both grow together unto the harvest. In the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. All right, and you got to understand the tares and wheat parable is basically is very very spiritual, because the tares represent the wicked, right? Because it goes into how um the enemy, okay, so tares among the wheat. Okay, the enemy represent what? The sons, the father, the father of the wicked. Okay, which is represent ultimately, you know, the heathens, or so for the Edomites. They're getting um they're getting sold among the wheat. Okay, which represent the Israelites, right? The righteous. Okay, so you're gonna have the Edomites, the heathens and the righteous, which are the Israelite, growing up together. Okay, you know, live. You're gonna have basically gonna have a Israelite look like a Edomite. An Edomite look like an Israelite. All right. So you're not gonna be able to tell it. The only way to tell the difference is really of the spirit. Okay. You have to read the reason with spirit, to tell whether they're a wheat or a tear, or to tell whether they're Edomite or Israelite. But ultimately, at the judgment, right, at the end, at the day of judgment, okay, the elect of the wheat of the Israelites will be being up into the barns, right, into the Lord, into His church, and all the terrorists will be destroyed. The mustard seed, Matthew 13:31. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is like to a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field, which indeed is the least of all seeds, but when it is grown, it is the greatest among herbs, and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof. All right. And 11, Matthew 13:33 said, Another parable spake he unto them, The kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal, till the whole was leavened. In these things spake Yahushua to the multitude in parables, and without parables spake he not unto them, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, I will open my mouth in parables, I will utter things which have been kept secret from the foundation of the earth. Fucking from the foundation of the earth, foundation of the world. The terrors explains that Yahushua sent the messenger away and went to the house, and his disciple came to him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, He that sows the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, the Israelites. But the tares are of the wicked one. The enemy that sows them is the devil, okay? The heart, which is the Edomite, right? That spiritual demon say working through the devil, which is the Edomite, those that control this world, okay? Really, the harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. And therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire. So shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom in all things that offend in them which do iniquity, and cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who have ears to hear, let him hear. Matthew 13:44 says, Again, the kingdom of hidden treasure. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field, the which when a man hath found, he hideth it, and for joy thereof goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Okay, and that a representation of this hidden manna, right? This truth, okay, this word of the Lord, all right, which is a treasure, okay. Because the kingdom of heaven starts with what? The truth, okay. Start when receiving the truth, the knowledge of the Lord, okay, the knowledge of things above, the knowledge of the heavens, which is the names of the Lord, okay, the truth, the 100% truth, all right. Which a man has found, he hid it, and for joy thereof goes and sell all that he has and buys that field. That represent what? Sacrificing. What did the Lord tell the rich man? Okay, if you love him, okay, right, go sell all that you have and give to the poor. Okay, then come follow and be my disciple. And the rich man didn't, he didn't want to do that because he had many riches. So selling all that he has represent what? Giving up things, sacrificing, right? These worldly things to follow the way of the Lord, okay? To follow the Lord, to receive the truth, right? And to buy that field represent what? Being a student of this truth, okay? Being ready to hear, being ready to learn, okay? Being ready to receive this knowledge, right? Eating of this road, okay? Which represents truth. Matthew 13:45. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchantman seeking good pearls, who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and brought it. Okay. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Yahushua says unto them, Have ye understood all these things? They say unto him, Yea, Lord. Then said he unto them, Therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which bringeth forth out of his treasure things new and old, which represent the New Testament and the Old Testament. Okay. right? In the kingdom of heaven, which represents this word, starting with this word, this truth, right? It gathered all types of spirits. Okay, you have some people, which when I say all types of spirit, I mean people with different intentions. Okay, you have some people who actually receive this truth, right? Okay, but their spirit are right. Okay, their spirit are right. Come in, are called if you are chosen. Okay, many people are called, but they just wasn't called. They weren't called. They were called, but they weren't called. They're not elect. Okay, and they're wicked. Okay, they're the two third. Okay, because if you're not receiving salvation, okay, no matter, it's all about the elect. Okay, no, yes, being called. Okay, it shows that the Lord is dealing with you, but if you don't receive this, if you don't receive salvation, then it really, your work is just what your labors were just in vain. Okay. Matthew 15:53 reads, "And it came to pass that when Yahushua had finished these parables, he departed thence. And when he had come into his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, and so much that they were astonished and said, Whence has this man this wisdom and these mighty works? And is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brethren James and Joseph and Simon and Judas? And his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then has this man all these things? And they were offended in him. But Yahushua said unto them, A prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house. And he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief. Right. Okay. And that was in Nazareth. Nazareth. All right. So I'm going to close here by giving all I'm going to praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahshua, Next time, say Shalom.